What's up, guys? Hanging out here at Triumph Houston, and this has been my buddy for today, Triumph Daytona 660. Gorgeous red. This will not do this motorcycle justice. Nothing on film. You have to experience this in person. Well, as pretty as it is, well, that's nice, but what's it like to ride? Well, let's chat about it. So first of all, this bike comes with the Michelin Power 6s, 180 55s out back, 120 70s up front. Proper sport bike tire, but more importantly, proper sport bike sizing. Plenty of options out there if you choose to move away from this. And that's a good thing. A bike like this, in many cases, will not have the right size wheels so that you can run those types of tires. Show you the display. As far as modes go, we've got road, we've got sport, and we've got rain. See the tack. Very simple setup. It's all you need for a motorcycle like this. Suspension wise, we've got preload adjustment out back with no adjustment up front. And guys, quite honestly, that's where the criticism of this bike for a lot of folks start, the non-adjustability of the suspension, and you would expect at least some level of personalization with a bike like this. But the reality is that this motorcycle, this is for the entry-level rider. This is somebody just getting into sport bikes. This is for somebody that is just dipping their toes into track days. And this is a situation where having a bunch of adjustment can really lead in a way to more confusion. A bike like this with about 100 horsepower from the factory comes with a pretty capable suspension already. And in eliminating all of those issues with adjustability, trying to fine tune the suspension, things like that for whatever your weight may be, in this case, it's more simple to just give you a little bit of preload, get somebody on this motorcycle and start collecting miles. That's the most important thing with a bike like this. Get used to the riding position, get used to the power delivery. There are other options out there if you want to go faster. But again, that's not where this bike is going to get you. It's an A2 style motorcycle, so checking in just shy of 100 horsepower, well, there's a lot that you just simply don't need for a bike like this. I got to stay away from this thing. It may end up coming home with me. Okay guys, so back to it. What is this thing like to ride? Well, it's a 600cc triple. And it's got a ton of mid-range like you may expect. It's extremely punchy going down the freeway. It's very light, very nimble as well. So I guess in a nutshell, it's a treat to ride. It's not overpowering and it doesn't have any mannerisms that would, well, throw you off if this was your first time on a sport bike, which I really do believe is the mission statement for this machine. I mean, just look at that thing. But the looks kind of deceive you a little bit in the fact that the rider's triangle of this bike is extremely comfortable. You're much more upright than you may expect on a sport bike. The motorcycle, although softly sprung, is tight enough to suspend you through whatever hooliganry you might find yourself in. But more to the point, the power delivery is smooth, it's very torquey, and it's just a fun, rich little motorcycle to ride. And given the price point of just shy of $10,000, I don't know that you could do better. It's basically at the top of its class when it comes to power. The rest of the suspension bits, well, those could be add-ons at some point if you decided that you did want to start taking this machine to track days. There's always upgrades, but if you're just getting into track riding and you're just getting into sport bike motorcycle riding, this is probably the best bet for you. It gets you used to the riding position of a sport bike. It gets you used to the handling and the main thing is the riding characteristics of a bike that is looking like this. But at the same time, it doesn't overwhelm you and it doesn't blow your senses into sensory overload. I would recommend this motorcycle for folks that are in the beginning levels of their sporting class. But if you did decide you wanted to take this thing to the track and level up your game, by modifying this motorcycle for track use, it would be competitive for any middleweight class that you would find yourself entering, and it would also be a lot of fun at that. So with that, post up your comments, let me know what you think about this thing. Have you had a chance to ride one of these? If you haven't, give it a shot. I have a feeling that you may come away with a completely different mindset, because as fun as this bike is and the entry cost not being so high, it makes it really difficult not to take one home. I know that one, I could do a lot of damage with that. But anyway, post every comments, let me know what you think. That's a wrap.